It's Anthony Hopkins, and he's returning to his evil roots. He's playing a very villainous role.
Just tell me what you want.
I just want to introduce you to Little Taste of Hell.
Stop, don't do this! Here, is this what you want?
I want justice.
Well, congratulations on your movie.
Thanks. Thank you.
You also, I was looking up at your filmography. You also directed Brightburn, which I loved. I loved that movie. Such a good movie.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really
Of course,
appreciate it.
kind of put Bill Skarsgard through hell here. He's like trying to get gummy bears with his tongue. He hits his face in the dashboard. I mean,
He goes through some things. Yeah. Yeah. When I met with him the first time, I was like, this isn't gonna be an easy movie. Like, know what you're signing up for. Is this the do you want to do this? But he was the perfect guy for it. I mean, he was so game to do this, and I think he, like me, really appreciates doing things, like, not just kicking everything to VFX, but really like going and doing things. And so we had a lot of scenes where he's getting tossed around in the car for real, and where we're really in a parking lot, in a parked car all day, just lots of just doing it real.
so whose voice was he listening to? It's Anthony Hopkins, who does, who's voicing this person who's keeping him hostage in this car. Was it, who did the scratch? The scratch, they call it scratch, right? The scratch record.
Yeah. So okay. So when we got to Vancouver, I had Bill and myself. We got into an SUV and we went and parked under like a bridge somewhere. And we called Anthony Hopkins, and had his voice coming out of the Bluetooth, and we did the entire thing like a play, because I wanted it, I didn't want it to feel static. I wanted it to feel live. They're having these conversations. I wanted it to feel real. So we practiced that way, and they did the movie like a play, kind of going back and forth, running the scenes, seeing how it felt, exploring it. And then shortly after that, I recorded a scratch version of Anthony Hopkins doing all the voice, which was amazing. And so there were times on set when that would play. And then there were times on set when he would just be talking to me, like I was the bad guy. And then there were times when it was the first AD. And it just depended on what served that moment. But the goal was to never feel like this wasn't a very alive conversation, that they were interrupting each other, that they couldn't hear each other sometimes, that it felt like what happens when you make a Bluetooth call, to a real human being. And I know that sounds so obvious, but that's also very hard to do.
Hello, Eddie. You're in my car.
Two of the most iconic, two of the greatest living actors who have played some of the most iconic villains of all time, like in a wits match against each other, in a battle of the wits, and it's exciting to watch it play out.
Yeah, there's one scene or one little shot of reminded me of Hannibal Lecter when he's peering into the window.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Hannibal Lecter. That's what I thought of. I mean, did you have that in mind, or that was totally accidental?
No, the reason it reminds you of Hannibal Lecter is because that sequence is shot, from his perspective. And I wanted you as the audience to feel incredibly concerned about that person outside of the car, because that's the person who's had you this whole time. And Eddie doesn't get to see his whole face, and so why should you? Because we're really telling Eddie's story through this. And he's sort of an unreliable narrator. But like, honestly, right in the beginning, talking to Anthony Hopkins, the conversation was, sure, you're always going to get those chills, right? It's Anthony Hopkins, and he's returning to his evil roots. He's playing a very villainous role, but how can he be a different shade? And I think something that was so great about Hannibal Lecter is how surprising he was. You hadn't seen a cannibal be so intelligent and articulate and
Mhm.
with such great taste, a foodie. You got a foodie cannibal. That's like a hard thing to wrap your mind around. It's surprising. And so we wanted to be surprising again. You know,
Yeah.
you've been surprised by that. You understand that now. So what's a new surprise? And you know, to me, I find him so I love his persona on Instagram. I think he's so fun and it's just not at all what you expect. And so to have such a devious and malevolent character, um, but who's that unhinged and playful and sort of enjoying his late years, is so cool. It is so cool to see him do that, and so fun to sort of it's just unexpected, you know. So it keeps you it's one of his layers, you know. I think this is I think part of what makes this movie unique is that it's trying it aims to not be heightened. It's like this is the movie, and I think that's why it feels so tense to people. I think that's why people, you know, really experience the movie as like edge of your seat thriller because, you know, it's easy when it's heightened to feel safe to go, okay, well the good guys are going to win in the end, you know, this is all going to be fine. But in this I think you feel a sense of danger constantly, and you don't know
Mhm.
how things are going to play out, and it's keeping you guessing, and so that's part of I think what makes it unique.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you, thanks.
All right.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you, I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.